I made a video explaining why it's really important to work with specific events, sensations in your body, things that have happened in your life when you want to make a change in something, rather than just trying to work on a generalized belief phrase, such as, I don't feel safe with money, or people don't seem to like me. How do I change that belief? One question I receive from this, and it's very normal to have this question or to feel challenged, is how do I get in touch with some memories or some physical aspects as it relates to a subject? Like, what are the actual mechanics of that? And I'm going to give you a few things to try and something else that you can use even if you can't get in touch with your body or your memories for whatever reason, which is fine. Remember, none of this is like you're doing something wrong. That's part of my ethos with all of this work, is we're just trying to discover how our own bodies and minds are best to work with. So let's take a subject, for example, dating. Right? It's a popular one to get questions about. And okay, I know that there's a pattern or there's something going on that I want to make a change about. Here's a few places you can try to experiment with. First is when I just say the word dating, just see where your mind goes. And don't try really hard. Right? Are you thinking of high school and you had your first partner, or nobody dated you in high school? Right? Does it go to someone from a week ago? Does it just go to this dark place? Like, I don't even want to talk about that. Just notice that and think of that as like, oh, great, there it is. Right? That's where my mind went by itself. Sometimes when you're trying to do, quote unquote, trying to do this, it's like you're digging for it. Like, well, where is the most important thing, or what's the worst thing that ever happened with dating? It's not really like that. It's just like, where does your mind go? Because you already know it's something you want to change. So that's already kind of baked in. So just see where it goes. And then just start to become curious. Like, oh, why did high school come up? Right? Now, as you start to explore that, you can even just work there. For example, if like high school came up, but you don't have a ton of nuanced details, just see whatever did come up. High school, right? Oh yeah, I kind of remember what that looked like, or maybe there's a little feeling like, yeah, I remember it was a little awkward, or just go with whatever little bits come up if they do. It doesn't have to be that you're mining for the most painful thing that happened. That's a common misunderstanding about it. It's like, I have to find where all the pain is. Just work with what comes up, because it's not always, in fact, it's usually not appropriate for us to just dive into the most intense thing. I have a separate video about that called Don't Re-Traumatize Yourself. So that's one place to start. Just see where your mind goes, make a note of it. Okay, high school. And in this case, I'm tapping like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah, I remember what my high school looked like. I just remember feeling a little uncomfortable. That's going to be good. It's deceptive, right? You wouldn't think that that would be very effective, but it can be very effective. Another one, and these two can correlate, you may get both, you may get neither, is to just look at the physical sensations that arise. I alluded to this in the last video, but if I say the word dating, begin to notice if there's any little shifts in your body. Does your breathing change at all? Do you get like really kind of focused and like, I'm trying to, dating, I'm trying to figure that out, right? There might be subtle little shifts. There might be just like, God, dating, right? I've seen that one before. It's just like, just everything kind of drops. That is gold. Right? Just literally like being present with that, like, this sinking feeling in my chest. In this case, I might be tapping and I'm literally just repeating to myself. It's not the words, it's more I'm actually just feeling into, that sinking feeling in my chest. And remember, curiosity. Now you're just curious. You're not trying to mine data. You're just feeling into, this feeling in my chest when I talked about dating or thought about dating. It's all built in. You don't have to figure it out. You said the word dating, your body did it. Your body went there. That's gold. That has everything that you need. So just by being present with it, there's some wiring in your brain that makes the body do that. You don't have to figure that all out. You just go to what the body is doing. Now, if you're not really able to access anything, like my mind goes blank, I don't have much connection to my body when I talk about this, a really interesting thing that's being researched, at least in clinical EFT, with some success for sure, is you can actually make up a story. And I'm not kidding about that. You can literally invent a scenario of, that date that went badly. Right? You can experiment with making it somewhere in the direction where you think there might be something going on, because I assume you're watching this video or doing it for some reason, like you want to be dating someone or whatever it might be. And it's like, well, what would a memory be that would make me feel disgusted by dating, right? And you can literally just invent it. You can just invent, I went out for that date and the person didn't show up, right? And you're just kind of tapping through the points if you're using EFT, and you're just experimenting with going through this story that your mind is inventing. Because that's the interesting part. Your mind is inventing the story. You think it's random, but it's not, because the one you pick is going to be different than what my mind would quote unquote invent. Right? Our mind is going to pick details that might be even consciously be hidden from us, and they're going to be relevant on some level. Now, that's not to say that you're going to tap on your invented story or meditate through kind of your invented story, and that's just going to change everything. But it does make progress in the way I'm talking about. So where does your mind go when you think of the subject? Let yourself explore, tap, be curious. What does the body do? That can go in correlation with one or just be its own thing. Talk about dating, what happens. Nothing's really happening. I'm not super clear on it. Let me just invent a story and trust that my mind is going to, whatever it seemingly randomly chooses, is not actually that random. It's going to contain little pieces that are in the unconscious, and it's going to help. So I hope that helps you. Let me know if you have any questions with that, and I will see you on the next video.